By 50, you've spent 2 decades building a fortress, walls made of reputation, moats filled with carefully managed distance, guard towers manned by your assistant, your therapist, and your extremely effective personal boundaries. It only takes 6 seconds for the wrong person to walk through the front door and burn it down. If you've ever rebuilt yourself after the wrong person walked away, if you understand that at our age, love isn't about finding yourself, it's about risking everything you've become, then subscribe. Because here at the Obsession Script, we don't tell stories about people finding love. We tell stories about people who've survived it, buried it, and are about to discover it was never really gone. Hit that subscribe button. You'll want to be here for what happens next.
6 seconds. That's how long it takes Caroline Westbrook to recognize the man standing in the doorway of Conference Room 4 at Hastings and Klein. 6 seconds for her body to understand what her mind refuses to accept. The width of his shoulders hasn't changed. Neither has the way he fills a doorway, like he's apologizing for the space he occupies while simultaneously daring you to ask him to leave. Michael Chen. The name lands in her chest like a stone dropped in still water. It's 2 in the morning, the kind of late that feels like early. Manhattan spreads below them through floor-to-ceiling windows, a galaxy of insomniacs and ambition. The city never sleeps, and neither do divorce attorneys billing $800 an hour to carve up someone else's dreams. Their clients, plural, she has to remind herself, are billionaires going through what page 6 is calling the most expensive dissolution of marriage in New York history. $400 million in contested assets, 3 adult children refusing to speak to either parent, a media empire, a pharmaceutical company, and a contemporary art collection that includes 2 Basquiats and a Rothko. And Caroline Westbrook and Michael Chen have been assigned as co-mediators. She wonders, briefly, if God has a sense of humor this specific. Caroline, his voice, Christ, still does that thing where it drops half an octave on the second syllable of her name, like he's tasting it, like it means something. Michael, she doesn't stand. Power move. She learned that from him, actually, back when they were married and he was teaching her how to dominate a deposition. Stay seated. Make them come to you. I see Hastings sent their second string.
And Klein sent their ice queen. He sets his briefcase on the mahogany table. Hermes. New. She notices because she notices everything about him, has noticed everything about him for 27 years, 15 of which she spent actively trying not to. Still doing that thing where you pretend contempt is a personality? Still doing that thing where you mistake confidence for aggression. I call it Wednesday. The air between them could cut glass. He sits, across from her, not beside her. The table is 14 feet of hand-carved mahogany that probably cost more than her first apartment. It feels like 14 inches. Outside, it starts to rain, winter rain, the kind that turns Manhattan into a noir film, all reflected neon and wet pavement, and the sense that something dangerous is about to happen in an alley somewhere. Caroline kicks off her Louboutins under the table, red soles, 4-inch heels. She's been wearing them for 19 hours, and her feet are screaming. Vanity is a young woman's game, but she plays it anyway, because the alternative is admitting that she's 53 and her feet hurt, and she's too tired for this. Too tired for a lot of things. Except she's not tired when she looks at him. That's the problem. The Hendersons want this done quietly, she says, flipping open the file. All business. She can do all business. She's been doing all business since 2009. No press, no leaks, and they want it done in 30 days. 30 days? Michael loosens his tie. She tracks the movement, can't help it. His hands. She used to know those hands, used to know what they felt like on her skin at 3 in the morning when the rest of the world had the good sense to be asleep. Ambitious. Their word was essential.
Their word was probably, "Fucking finish this before the Times gets a source." She almost smiles, catches herself, files it away. You're not wrong. He pulls out his reading glasses. New development. He didn't need glasses when they were married, but that was 15 years and a lifetime ago. Now he's 56, and there are lines around his eyes that weren't there before, and she wants to trace them with her fingertips, and she hates herself for wanting it. So we do this, he looks at her over the frames, professionally. Is there another way to do it? Caroline, don't. The word lands between them like a gavel. He sits back, studies her. She can feel his gaze like a physical thing, moving over her face, cataloging changes. The gray she stopped covering 2 years ago, the lines around her mouth from a decade and a half of smiling at clients while she dismantled their lives with surgical precision, the scar on her left eyebrow from the night they... No, not going there. Professionally, she repeats. Professionally, he agrees. It's a lie, and they both know it. Rewind 15 years. Their divorce was the kind of vicious that leaves scars on everyone in the blast radius. 2 lawyers who knew exactly how to hurt each other, who had spent 8 years of marriage learning every vulnerability, every pressure point, every secret shame. She got the house, he got the practice. She got the Audi, he got the reputation for being the one who walked away. Neither of them got the truth. The truth was this. Caroline Westbrook and Michael Chen were the best legal team in Manhattan. Separate, they were excellent. Together, they were devastating. They met in law school, married at 28, built a practice that made them legends by 35. And then Caroline got pregnant. The miscarriage happened at 16 weeks, late enough that they'd told people, early enough that the world expected them to just move on. Michael wanted to try again. Caroline wanted to pretend it never happened. They were both right. They were both wrong, and neither of them knew how to say the thing that actually mattered, which was, "I'm drowning, and I don't know how to ask you to save me." So instead, they fought about case strategy, about billing hours, about whose turn it was to pick up the dry cleaning. They fought about everything except the thing that was killing them. The divorce took 11 months. Mutual destruction, scorched earth, no prisoners. By the time it was over, they weren't just separated, they were enemies. Caroline built a new practice, Klein and Associates, made partner in 3 years, became the attorney every woman in Manhattan called when she wanted to take her husband for everything he had. Michael did the same from the other side. For 15 years, they've been the best in the business at tearing apart what other people built. For 15 years, they haven't been in the same room. Until tonight. The art collection is the sticking point, Michael says. It's 4 in the morning now. They've been at this for 2 hours. Coffee has turned to whiskey. His jacket is on the back of his chair. Her hair is down. Somewhere along the way, they stopped being strangers and started being what they used to be. Dangerous. She wants the Rothko, Caroline says. He commissioned it. It was a gift for their 20th anniversary. And she was the one who met the artist. She was the one who cultivated the relationship. He just signed the check. Michael leans back, runs a hand through his hair. Still thick, some gray at the temples. Distinguished, they call it on men. On women, they say you're letting yourself go. You always did this, he says. Did what? Defended the woman like she's the underdog, even when she's worth $200 million. You always defended the man like he's the victim, even when he's the one who had the affair. Outside, the rain has turned to sleet, the kind of weather that makes you want to stay inside, stay close to something warm. He didn't have an affair, Michael says quietly. Caroline looks up. Page 6 says a lot of things, doesn't make them true. He meets her eyes. She's the one who strayed. He's the one who stayed quiet because he didn't want to destroy her company's reputation before the merger. Caroline sits with that, recalibrates. Why didn't you lead with that? Because you wouldn't have believed me. I would have.
You would have assumed I was protecting him, because that's what I do. That's what we do. We pick sides and we go to war. He leans forward, close enough that she can smell his cologne. Same brand, 15 years, and he hasn't changed it. When do we stop going to war, Caroline? The question sits between them like an unexploded bomb. When one of us surrenders, she whispers. And if neither of us wants to? She doesn't have an answer for that. By 6 a.m., they've worked through the property division. The pharmaceuticals go to her, the media company goes to him. The Rothko gets sold at auction, proceeds split evenly. They're professionals. They're good at this. What they're not good at is the way Michael's hand brushes hers when they both reach for the same contract, the way Caroline's breath catches when he leans over to point out a clause she missed, the way the air between them has gone from hostile to something else entirely, something that feels like recognition.
We should call it, Michael says. His voice is rough. Too many hours, too much coffee, too much proximity to the one person he's spent 15 years trying to forget. Resume tomorrow, later today, whatever this counts as. Caroline nods, starts gathering papers. Her hands are shaking, and she hates that he can probably see it. Caroline. She stops, doesn't look up. Why did you really leave? The question she's been waiting for, the question she's been dreading. She could lie. She's good at lying, 15 years of practice. But it's 6 in the morning, and she's too tired, and he's looking at her like he used to look at her, back when they were 28 and stupid and thought love was enough. Because I couldn't look at you without seeing her, the baby, who she would have been. Your eyes, my stubbornness, all of it. Every time I looked at you, I saw this whole life we were supposed to have and didn't, and it was killing me. The silence is deafening. So you killed us instead, he says. Not angry, just sad. Yes. He stands, walks to the window. Manhattan is waking up. The city of second chances and last calls, and people running from their pasts straight into their futures. I looked for her too, he says quietly. Every time I saw you, every time we fought, I kept thinking, this is what she would have seen, her parents destroying each other, and I hated myself for it, hated that I couldn't give you what you needed, hated that what you needed was distance from me. Caroline's eyes are burning. She's 53 years old. She doesn't cry, hasn't cried since the miscarriage. She's crying now. Michael, I never stopped. He turns. His face is wrecked. 15 years. I never stopped loving you. I got angry. I got bitter. I built a whole goddamn career on dismantling marriages because I couldn't fix ours, but I never stopped. The confession hangs in the air between them. Caroline stands. Her legs are unsteady. Her heart is a drum. She's built a fortress, and he's walking through it like walls are just suggestions. This is insane, she whispers. I know. We destroyed each other. I know. Everyone we know would think we've lost our minds. I know. She's close enough to touch him now, close enough to see the silver in his stubble, close enough to smell the whiskey on his breath and the cologne on his skin, and the history between them. I never stopped either, she says. His hand comes up, cups her face, thumb brushing away a tear. We're terrible at this, he murmurs. The worst. We'll probably destroy each other again. Almost definitely. Caroline. Her name in his mouth. A prayer, a plea. I'm too old to be smart about this. She laughs. It comes out broken. Me too. He kisses her. It's not gentle. It's not sweet. It's 15 years of fury and longing and all the words they didn't say crashing together in a conference room at 6 in the morning while Manhattan wakes up outside. It's a collision. When they break apart, they're both breathing hard. We have to finish this case, she says. We do. And then we have to figure out what this is. We do. And it's probably going to be a disaster. He smiles. God, she's missed that smile. Almost certainly. Okay, okay? She kisses him again, softer this time. A promise. Okay. They finish the Henderson mediation in 23 days. It's the smoothest, most professional dissolution either of them has ever handled. They don't tell the Hendersons that the mediators are sleeping together, that between contract negotiations, they are renegotiating their own history, that at 53 and 56, they're rebuilding what they burned down. On the last day, after the papers are signed and the Hendersons have shaken hands and left the building, Caroline and Michael stand in conference room 4. Same room, same table, different ending. So, she says. So, he echoes. Your place or mine? Mine's closer. Mine has better wine. Compromise. She laughs, takes his hand. We're going to have to learn how to do that. We have time. And they do. Not forever, not the infinite time of 20-somethings who think they're immortal, but time, the kind you appreciate when you've lived long enough to know it's finite, the kind that matters. By 50, you've built a fortress. You've survived the wars that come with living. You've learned that some bridges are better burned. But some bridges? Some bridges are worth rebuilding, even if it takes 15 years to find your way back. Even if it means surrendering the walls you've built to survive. Even if it means admitting that the person you've spent half your life running from is the only one who ever really saw you. At 2 a.m. in a conference room in Manhattan, Caroline Westbrook and Michael Chen stopped being enemies. By 6 a.m., they started being something else entirely. Not young lovers, not idealists, but two people who'd earned their scars and their wisdom and their second chance. And that's worth every risk, every ruin, every beautiful, terrifying moment of letting someone back in. The city never sleeps. Neither do second chances. So here's what happens next. You hit subscribe, you turn on notifications, because Caroline's about to make a choice that will either save her or shatter everything she's spent 20 years protecting. And trust me, you don't want to miss the moment she realizes the fortress wasn't keeping danger out. It was keeping her in. The obsession script, where love isn't the beginning of the story, it's what survives the ending. I'll see you in the next chapter.